All right, pickle garglers, we're back for round 3. This will be the final installment, I hope, unless it falls out and kills me. It's going to be difficult to show some of this stuff. And again, this is about tips, not about step-by-step. So, you know, you're going to have to use that piece of cauliflower on top of your neck to do most of the heavy lifting. As you can see, most cherry pickers have difficulty picking up the engine sideways. I have wedged this here. If I were to take this out, the engine would want to spin just because of the orientation of the chain. So I put this here just to make my life a little easier. As you can see, I have reinstalled this front bar because it does make a very good handle. And all we're going to do is go in. I have my transmit. I guess I could show you this. God, I do a lot for you people. I have installed, happen to put new locating dowel there and there, which will be received. And one more look, because I know you like this level of pornography. There's our power steering pump just kind of wedged up out of the way. We're all clear up on this rail. The AC compressor and its condenser are well out of the way. We're up on a jack stand under the transmission. I did get a chance to talk about that wooden jack cradle I have made for the bottom of the transmission, because it is not flat, it's round, and that makes it difficult to jack up, but you're going to have to search my videos. I have one where I show how to use a contour gauge to make that plate to adapt to a flat jack. All our wiring is just kind of held out of the way. Surprisingly, not much. This is the pipe that goes around the rear of the rear valve cover and goes to the output of this thing here. And that'll seat into place. And again, wiring. How much wiring is there? Not a whole fuck of a lot. I'm going to now enumerate the entire engine's wiring by memory. Oil pressure solenoid, crank position sensor, 1 and 2 phase actuators on the rear head, camshaft position sensor, 3 plugs, 3 coils. Moving on, coming out of the back of the block. Well, I could show you. I mean, ooh. Coming out of the back of the block here is a bus connector. This is for the NOx sensors. Oil pressure and temperature from the oil cooler goes to that connector. Plugs and coils go here. These little gizmos are a single wire, as you can see, radio noise suppressor that bolts just right into the head. Duplicate of same on the front bank, but also a engine temperature sensor coming off of the rear of the front head. There's 2 wires that go into the alternator, the big 12 gauge wire and a small control wire. There's 1 connector on the AC compressor. There's 2 oxygen sensor connectors in the back, upstream and downstream, and same on the front, upstream and downstream. There's 2 connectors on the starter, the big wire and the exciter wire. Both cylinder heads have a camshaft position sensor. There would be your other 2 in the front for the front bank phase actuators. On the upper intake, you've got a map sensor in the back. You've got a throttle connector for the throttle. You've got a small connector for the intake air temperature. And you have the evap pump, which is laying off here somewhere, that lives on top of the motor. And that's it. It's pretty simple. And that's it. All right, let's see if we can get some shots. Like I say, I'm going to try and record this, but it may not be the riveting visual that one would hope. Okay. Quick addition here. As you can see, I have the Dorman coolant crossover installed. These bolts are all 10s, and there's a long and a short. I have go ahead and used the paint marker to mark it when I take it off where the shorts are, or you could mark the longs, just as long as you differentiate. And of course you would figure it out, because the long ones aren't going to thread into the short. The long ones have a little rubber, I don't know what it is. It's like a little rubber sleeve that goes around the bolt shank. It's a seal of some kind. And it's not the end of the world if those get lost or whatever, but when you take each long bolt out, dig them out and put them on the bolt, and then you won't lose them. It's no big deal. This ain't rocket science. Here's another couple of tips for your lazy ass. Cat gaskets, that's your MS or your Felpro number. You can also use the Mopar. This is some off-brand Nixon. They sell it at Nixon? Richard Nixon? At O'Reilly's. The ones that'll come with a cat are pretty cheap. I'd go at least that. That's got to be $2.37. This is a genuine Mopar. Genuine. made in Mexico, 7991AB. Those are a couple of little tips for your ass. All right, kiddies, we're getting to the fun shit. This is pretty much ready to go here. As you can see, I've got a jack under the transmission because the transmission is going to stay right where it is. It helps to have some kind of floor jack because you may need to jockey it up and down as you get the engine, you know, the new engine back in. This is where the triangle bracket goes, and I've actually used a bolt that's the same as that, as you can see. It's a bolt with a washer, and it goes to the end of the chain, and over here I've done this. I suppose it's possible to grab the engine somewhere on this side, but I've found that this works pretty well. And as you can also see, it's as low as I can get it to the surface of the engine because cherry picker's gonna crash into that area. There's not really much you can do about it. Let's hook her up. I will assume you can see what I got going on here. It takes some careful stuff with the leg of the cherry picker and how long it is, how long the arm is, because you don't want to knock the jack for the transmission out of the way, but that can move a little bit. When it comes up, it'll probably crash right there. I am going to remove I'm going to put the stress on the picker. I'm going to do the upper. I have all the transmission bolts out except the upper few because they're easy to get to here. I'll take those out, and then I'm going to use a T whatever or an E whatever that is and get the upper. I'll take the left side mounts, the ones that bolt it to the frame, out first, and gravity will hold it in, and then I'll do them all together and get that thing out of there. That's the plan anyway, until I drop it on my fucking foot. All right, so I've got all the bell housing bolts out now, and I leave the one, here and then down there for last because they're easy to get to. When I took out that last one, you can see the trans separated from the engine, which means that the only thing that's holding this thing in place is tension on the chain, which I have, and also the three E-bolts on the mount. I'm going to take the mount bolts out now, again, because they're easy to get to. This piece, which I don't know if it has a name, gets out of your way. And as you can see, straight shot right there, it's just going to walk out. I'm going to try and film this. I don't know how visually appealing it will be. Also, as I got in here, I noticed that, see the green sticker in the center of your screen? That is a rebuilt transmission and a rebuilt engine that was rebuilt, it says, of 2021 on this orange sticker there. Unfortunately, if you try and clean those stickers off, the ink usually comes with them, but they're dated. Whatever. She's a goner, 50,000 miles or whatever. I don't care about this particular engine. All right, I'm going to try and film this. We'll see what happens. Riveting entertainment, I know. All right, as she comes out, I should probably mention, it's going to want to lurch. What you're trying to do is protect the AC lines over here from getting smashed by the engine. I hope it doesn't lurch too much. As you can see, just getting this arrangement high enough has put a dent in that heat shielding, but it doesn't really matter. And the other thing to know is to be mindful of, there's a separator plate that separates the transmission and the engine, just an aluminum plate. It has to go back in. Try not to bend it because then it turns into a problem that wasn't there before. E20 on these three weird bolts. 1, 2, and now she's going to move when I do this. And she did. Like your mom. That's too much. I didn't care for that. Look, the engine pulls itself. Sure hope I didn't smash any of this AC shit. I guess we're going to find out. Oh, we're still on the... No, right. Time for some violence. All right, now, as I start doing the dance of walk and jostle, very easy with two people. And I'm more than one person, but not exactly two. If I can get this trans shield out of there. May or may not be able to. but I'd like it to not get bent if possible. See, we're pissing out as much coolant as necessary. Okay. Should we go up or down? Let's go up. Pretty stable on the cherry picker. I suppose I could have taken the alternator off, but I didn't. There we go. All right. Piece of shit. Come on. As you can see, with this here, would make a great handle to tip it up in this axis. By grabbing it in the back, it's a little off kilter, and I don't know, you might find a bolt there, but I was always worried about breaking that fuel rail. I didn't feel it was strictly necessary. All right, as you can see, the cat stayed on its bracket. As you can see, the power steering pump just lays there. As you can see, the collectors at the base of each cat are off, and then the hole, because of that flex pipe, it just flops down, is out of your way. I'm looking here and I see that my dowels remained in the transmission, which means I'm gonna have to do something about that. This is the spacer ring I mentioned. I got it out pretty flat. It does have to be there, although I really don't know why, but I suppose shit would be out of line if it wasn't. It probably does something. Why the hell would they put it in there? Undressing of this engine will require taking that, because that's a real VK Promaster upper mount. I will need to be taking the alternator and its shield. I will need this hose, which goes around the front. And as I say, I will pre-assemble this on here to act as a handle. I'm going to use my existing pulley and tensioner arrangement. I guess that's about it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Well, as you can, this is about how it's going to go in. I've got the front cat off just for space. The rear cat, though, I put it on because what I don't want to do is have to fucking heist it up in there when the engine's in there. It's a real pain in the ass. It's fine. This is all ready to go. The oil cooler is upgraded. To put in the spacer ring for the transmission. I'm thinking I should pull this out and do that because I tape it in so it doesn't fall out. I don't know, let me try and do it without taping it. We'll see. Here's another super hot tip, and I'm glad I remembered to do this because it's really important, all right? See this? This is one of the 4 holes that the torque converter bolts go through. Check out this hole. Come here. Come here, you. That hole. See how that hole has squared shoulders on the side? That's so the bolt indexes if you put that bolt in first, it will force the other 3 bolts to be in the right position. If you put one of these bolts in first, the thing can... That's not it. That's it. If you put that in first, that bolt bore is bigger than the shank of the bolt and it can move around, and then you're going to have to fuck around with doing it multiple times. Put the engine such a place where that one is pointing down, and that'll be the first one that you do, and then you can just do the other 4. That's a big, very, very helpful tip, that. You can also see what I've done. I've moved the dowels to the engine side, dowel, and I have put my spacer ring on there, and I have even frog taped up at the bottom to try and hold it on. It's probably gonna fall off, and again, easy job with 2 people, fucking Kip's struggling for hours and hours to do something very simple, because as soon as I get that in there and the slightest whiff of something touches that spacer ring, it'll fall out and bend and make my life miserable. But that's just the way things go. All right, let's set this thing up again and get her back in there. Goddamn right. Freedom! Got one in the top. Gonna get it close, but not gonna rely on it. Don't tighten it all the way. Success. Not bad. I'm a little sweaty. I guess I gotta show you something. Well, I don't have to show you, I'll tell you. So 2 or 3 of the bolts, the transmission bolts are double-headed. 2 or 3 of the transmission bolts are those double-headed. They have a thread sticking out the other side. That's for a Christmas tree sort of connector that goes on the front. Those 2 are in the upper back of the transmission at the top. You'll figure that out, but you know, it's just a reminder. All the rest of the transmission bolts are the same except for the 2 starter bolts, which are slightly longer. Don't forget to take the tape off your spacer ring. Not that it would matter. At this point, I'm gonna put the mount on. Well, you can watch me do that. And then the engine is suspended. I can get rid of all this jacking. Because I have 3 bolts in the transmission and it's on the dowels, it ain't going nowhere, as the young kids say. Thank you. I should like to thank the Academy. And I thank you. And I thank you. And I thank you. All right, you monkey fuckers, that's it. God, that was 3 videos of nothing, but you'll need it. I'm glad you watched it. I enjoyed making it. Not really. Anything else to know? Everything else is just the reassembly of the reverse. You'll figure it out. Don't forget to put oil in it. Real quick, there's a flood clear mode that I would recommend you use, because this engine has had its oil drained, its oil cooler changed, and its rocker arms changed with no oil pressure. So what you do, you turn the key on, you hold the pedal, the gas pedal, fully to the floor, and it'll deny it fuel so that you can crank it without starting it. Do that for 6, 7, 8 seconds before you do the first fire of it. Exhaust, you know all the rest. I suppose a smart person gets it mostly reassembled and make sure it's going to fire, make sure there isn't an issue, because that's all work that you're going to have to do twice. I will do everything up to, but not install the radiator, get it to test fire, make sure it runs code-free, and then put all the radiator and the coolant in and all that bullshit. And that's all there is to know. I'm glad I had a chance to make this video, and if you're the kind of guy that knows something about any one specific vehicle, how come you're not making these fucking videos to help a schmuck like me who only does it once in a while on some other specific vehicle? There's a lot of jobs I would like to see done by somebody who does them a lot. Spread your knowledge, spread yourself, spread it wide, spread it proud. All right, and buy my app, and love you. See you next time. Goodbye. Buy my app, Promaster phone app, custom Promaster phone app.